I moved to the Risley at Van Dorn after living at Springfield Crossing because of water damage. A flood happened to my 2-bedroom apartment. So I looked everywhere, Arlington County, I looked everywhere, and this property had just been purchased by Waterton Residential, and they had dozens of ground floor apartments, handicap accessible, available. Well, do you know, part of the learning curve, I like to call it a learning curve, is I hadn't lived in that very many places, and when I moved into Springfield Crossing, it was brand new, I didn't have an appreciation for it's a beautiful property, but it's isolated. Although the apartment itself was beautiful and fully handicap accessible, I was in isolation. And when I found this place, like within minutes of coming simply even to look at this place, I met Glenn next door and Dr. Jeremy, who's a research scientist across the way, and they have a dog park, and the bus is 3 seconds outside my front door. The fitness center is 5 seconds across the street. The management is a great team, and they have events almost every month. So you come to meet your neighbors, and they have beautiful walkways and playgrounds and 2 pools. When the flood and water damage happened, the county was saying, well, it's your responsibility, Theresa, to find a landlord that will accept your voucher. And we began looking immediately, and Cheryl Johnson from the ARC was my DD waiver services coordinator. We were looking everywhere and trying to find information, and so many times I thought I had found someplace. It was like there was no pathway. Landlords didn't understand what a voucher was. It was only a stroke of luck that we drove by here one day and we stopped in the management office, and Miss Andrea said, we're a brand new owner and we'll be glad to have you as a resident. And I said, oh, I don't think you understand. It requires a lot of paperwork. It's called a voucher. And she said, Miss Theresa, we'll take care of it. The relationship with the landlord has to be there. Part B, which is sometimes not fully understood, is now it was my responsibility to guide Fairfax County, because the rent here was $6 above a voucher authorization. $6. And Fairfax County said, sorry. And I said, $6? And it was probably 5 different agencies that I had to push to talk to one another to finally lead them to HUD in Washington, D.C. And HUD said, that's not a problem. There's called exception to the fair market rate. We can approve this lease agreement and increase the voucher to meet that need, because Theresa is homeless, displaced, permanently disabled, and this qualifies her for that exception. And it was like getting a gold key. The teams are brain injury services, where I have a case manager. I think the team at the ARC of Northern Virginia, because you have workshops and you have training and education on all the important issues about the waiver and about housing vouchers and budgeting. And my current DD waiver services coordinator is with the Independent Center of Northern Virginia. Then Fairfax County, we have notebooks on all these different offices, because I have a responsibility to be a good voucher recipient. I have a number of cognitive impairments that affect both my vision and my hearing and my memory, and it's called executive function. So that I have, when I'm learning something, I have bits and pieces that I remember and the picture of what it is, but I can't put it together every day. So that's where my aides are my executive assistants. And these notebooks really look at the key needs of independent, integrated living, quality of life, recovery, and pursuing your employment goals. That's been one of my biggest challenges, and something that I think has been so rewarding over the past few months is learning about the redesign of the waiver.
So I've been with Theresa for just about 3 years, and the first event that I got to go to with her was on Capitol Hill, and it was about the NFL and concussions. I mean, that was the first, jumping into it, like the first week I was on the job with Theresa, I was just going straight into things. That was really, really cool, and that's pretty much what it's a lot of day-to-day with her. Problem solving and organizing and researching, not only for her services, but for how she can help advocate for other people. And it's a huge, huge world that Theresa is trying to cover, and it's fantastic. So one of the things I help her with is keep track of her medical. She has so many issues and things that we try to keep track of. So we make a lot of charts, label a lot of things to help organize and keep track visually for her, so it's easy for her to see. Well, it's a lot of multitasking in between helping Theresa advocate for herself, advocate for other people, keep track of her medications, doctor's appointments, all of the projects the hundreds of projects that she's been involved with, currently involved with, simple things. We keep track of nutrition and any exercises, fitness that she needs to do, physical therapy, to help with her, spinal stenosis. It's just a lot of different things that all tie in together. So that's pretty much every day. It's step by step, creating charts and checklists so it's easily laid out and defined for her so she can understand. We have those rosters all set up in one place with the chart, with step-by-step directions of how to follow. So if I'm not around, it's easier for Theresa to do it, or show it to someone else and say, can you help me with this?
When my brain injury happened, I had no idea that my love of traveling would then become a coast-to-coast search for the experts in brain injury rehabilitation and recovery, and most importantly, employment. There's life after rehabilitation or being in a nursing home, and it's the law that we have the right to live in the community of our choice. I took all of this that I was learning and created a plan for a national project called brainline.org. And I made my introduction of my idea for brainline.org to the director of the Walter Reed Medical Center for the Center of Brain Injury, and she said, I have $1.5 million. How will we build this national website and communication for civilians and the military and the veterans? So we'll go to WETA Public Broadcasting. And we did it in 2008. And brainline.org was launched by the Defense and Veterans Brain Injury Center. The ARC represents all of that. Vast communities, families waiting for decades